Good morning, Warren County. It's been almost 3 months now since the President announced that this pandemic was gripping our nation. Now, with 90,000 deaths nationwide and the number growing, we know the unseen enemy is still amongst us. With 18,000 cases in Tennessee with a spike of 623 over the last day, and the number of cases in Warren County doubling in 2 weeks, it is no time to let your guard down. COVID-19 is still a clear and ever-present danger. Governor Lee will speak again on Thursday at his regular news conference at 3 p.m. to announce continued plans for reopening the economy. His executive orders give directions and guidance for local government and citizens on how to act and react to the reopening. Specific recommendations are made as an encouragement to residents to follow his Tennessee pledge. This is a work in progress. It's not a mandate, but a civic call to duty, urging all Tennesseans to act responsibly and to respect the rights of others. Some people think these are a disabler, but in reality, they are an enabler. They are our weapons against this disease: your mask, your hand sanitizer, and your gloves. These are not your enemies, but protection against this battle, against this invisible virus attacking our nation. Just as a soldier wears a helmet in war, the governor is asked for each and every individual to wear a mask and use personal protection as a safety precaution against COVID. To quote Abraham Lincoln, our president during the Civil War, "It often requires more courage to dare to do right than to do wrong." The right thing is essential for a return to normalcy. I cannot stress the importance of being cooperative and following the guidelines set forth by our governor. It will be the quickest path to success. In the meantime, essential county government services will continue. Limited access to my administration building and the courthouse will continue through the end of the month. We will still follow the Tuesday and Thursday schedules from 8 a.m. to 12 noon with basically a public notice being posted on our doors. But if you will follow those guidelines for our offices, and by appointment, if you need to be in any county admin or county courthouse office, if you'll just call ahead and make sure. I want to thank everyone for basically paying up at Lisa Scott's office for your tag renewals. But the state of Tennessee has extended that to June 15. So there's really no need or necessary line that needs to be formed outside the county admin building. But by doing your civic duty and paying those fees, we do appreciate it. But please call any appropriate office if you need information about openings, times, or admission to our buildings. The health department continues to do free drive-through testing each day, Monday through Friday. And our jail is still closed to the public until further notice. I'm working with my safety coordinator, David Britton, for guidelines to implement a plan for reopening all county offices in June, with guidelines on protecting both employees and our public. With the reopening of the economy, it is all about choices. A reminder from one of my economic lessons: poor choices can cost you a lot. Today with us, we have Mayor Ben Newman from the City of McMinnville, Parks and Rec Director Scott McCord and Justin Scott, Ben Holland, Administrator of NHC, Dale Humphrey, CEO of St. Thomas Ascension, Bobby Cox, retiring Director of Schools for the Warren County School System, and Grant Swallows, the newly appointed Director of Schools, Hilda Lido from the UT Extension Office, and Lana Whitlock, Director of the Warren County Senior Center.
Thank you, Executive Haley. I'd like to thank Ben Lohman for putting this on, the Southern Standard for being here, PEG Broadcasting as well for being here and getting this information out to our citizens. I'd like to thank River Park Hospital, the Health Department, NHC, our city employees, and everyone who does their part to work together to try to make this transition as best we can. And thank you, the citizens and businesses in McMinnville and Warren County, for doing your part, staying apart, the people who have put precautions in place, people who have followed those precautions, people who have social distanced and sacrificed and used good common sense throughout this pandemic. You have helped to keep our numbers low. We have 16 confirmed cases as of yesterday, and continuing to help follow, participate in the recommendations of the CDC and the State of Tennessee Health Department we can keep those numbers low, but you have to do your part. The Governor's Economic Recovery Group announced Friday that some larger capacity venues may reopen soon. Those restrictions and guidelines should come out soon. Restaurants and retail will be lifted. The capacity restrictions will be lifted on May 22nd. The restrictions on social gatherings of more than 10 people, or excuse me, 10 or more people is to remain in place. So though you can go to some of these places, you still have to stay in groups of 9 or fewer. We have parks in the city of McMinnville. Please know that you can go to the parks, but try to stay in smaller groups. You can have multiple groups just spread out within the parks. At the city, we have people that are still working from home. Our lobbies are closed currently for City Hall. Those should be reopening next week with limited access. Scott McCord, our City Parks and Recreation Director, is here today, and he will talk about some of the city leagues, the Civic Center classes, and other matters dealing with Parks and Recreation. We're still uncertain about the Gilly Pools reopening, but we are considering that on a week-to-week basis, and we hope to know something soon, and as soon as we know, we'll get that information out to you. The city is considering the 4th of July celebration in the upcoming weeks and what to do with that and how to handle it safely, but still let it go on. I think the information coming out of the governor's office seems to be staying in groups of less than 10. So we'll try to work under that restriction and keep people separated when we have our larger events. I think some of that is keeping in small groups within a larger celebration or something like that, but still stay 6 feet away from each other and remaining in smaller groups. That's going to be difficult to do, but we'll see what we can do. I want to remind you again to pay your utility bills, pay your rent. Those things are still due. The utilities can't forgive their bills. They still have to be paid. We made a lot of announcements in the last several weeks about doing that, and thank you for those of you who went out and paid your bills. You can work out some type of payment plan with the utilities. I know a lot of them are working out some type of payment plan. Each one is a little bit different, but that's something that you'll need to do. Take the initiative, call your utility provider, see what you can work out. If you're not able to work something out, or if you don't pay your utility bill, those cutoff policies, some have already gone back into place and people are being cut off if they don't pay. And as some of the utility companies do have their cutoff policies coming back into place, they'll start cutting off soon in June. So make sure to get the plan worked out with your utility provider. They're happy to work with you, and they're willing and they're understanding, but they cannot forgive that bill. Keep in mind that the Upper Cumberland Human Resources Agency, UCHRA, can be contacted for possible assistance with your rent or possible assistance with your utility if you qualify. The number for UCHRA is 931-473-6652. Their website is uchra.com. Visit the website or give them a call and see what help they may be able to provide you. Keep in mind that though we do have small numbers of confirmed cases here in Warren County, the best course of action is to keep a safe distance from other people. The restaurants, public stores, parks, churches, and elsewhere, though you can go there, restrictions will be loosened much more coming up pretty soon. Still, stay apart from people. There's no reason to get very congested while waiting in lines, while going through the hallways or the aisles in grocery stores. Just be courteous, be cautious, stay away from people. You may not think it's a big deal anymore because we have low numbers, but it is. And there are still a lot of people who are very concerned and still a little bit scared from this. Be courteous to people. Stay a safe distance. If you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. That protects other people from you if you do have it and are asymptomatic. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't make fun of people for wearing a mask. Just be courteous, be cautious, and let people do their thing. And stay at least 6 feet apart while in public. Thank you again for doing your part. Let's keep it up, and hopefully we can get through this. This is the volunteer state, and I know that you can rise to the occasion. Thank you.
Good morning. First off, I'd like to say a special thank you to Executive Haley, Mayor Newman, for helping us to put on the parade that we had Friday. It was a huge success for us, for our patients, for our partners, for several family members. I think it was great community involvement in a time where we've been asked to stay apart. It allowed us to stay apart, but also get everyone somewhat together and get the community involved. I would say that just based on my observations from Friday, the impact that it had on our partners there, our employees, our healthcare heroes, I was not expecting the great impact that it had. I knew it would have a positive impact, but not to the extent that it did. So very thankful for the opportunity to do that. Thankful for everyone who participated, for everyone who helped plan it, make it happen. I realize it wasn't a normal Friday, but we really appreciate it. I'd like to provide an update. We, on Friday, tested every single patient and every single partner in our building for COVID-19. As of yesterday evening around 5 o'clock when results came in, we had 0 positive patients and 0 positive partners in our building. So very pleased with that. Everything, I think it shows the fruits of our labor with everything we've done to try and prevent COVID from coming in our center. Obviously, we have the most vulnerable population when it comes to COVID-19, and we want to try and protect them. As far as visitation goes, I've had several questions as we've started to open things back up. To my knowledge and everything that the guidance I've been given from CMS, federal government, state governments, nursing homes will be in phase 3 of the reopening. Even in phase 3, the suggestion's been made that we wait till the latter end of phase 3 to reopen, just because we have the most vulnerable population. Fortunately for us here in Warren County, McMinnville, we do have a small number of positive cases versus somewhere like Nashville, Memphis, Chattanooga. So I think that may allow us to reopen sooner than maybe those areas. But I still think we're several weeks away from being able to allow visitors in. And that's solely to protect our patients, our employees. As far as things that we're doing in our center to prevent COVID from coming in, every person that comes in our building, whether it's someone who's providing care or a new admission maybe, or maybe it's an EMT driver, whoever it might be, they get screened upon entry. There's only 2 ways in or out of our building. They have to have their temperature taken. They have to answer screening questions. And so it's a way for us to track every person who comes in our building. Are they symptomatic? Are they asymptomatic? Have they been in contact with anyone who maybe has tested positive for COVID-19? So every time someone comes in our building, we know who's coming in. We know whether or not they have a fever. If they have a fever, obviously they're not allowed to come in. That's one way of us protecting who comes in. Once you're in the center, you wear a mask. You wear personal protective equipment. As far as new admissions go, we have done everything we can to try and continue as normally as we can, but also protect our patients that are already there. So we, fortunately for us, with our collaboration with St. Thomas, they've been very helpful in testing potential patients that may be coming to us ahead of time to give us that snapshot of this person is not positive for COVID-19. We can bring them into our center and know that our patients that are already there and aren't positive are going to be protected. So thank you, Mr. Humphreys, for that. It has allowed us to bring in new people who need care. Obviously, we want to serve our community. That's what we're here to do. And so it allows us to continue to bring people in who need our care, who need our services, but to do it safely. When they come into our center, we have a 12-bed unit. It's separate from the rest of the building. Regardless of their positive tests, we still wear personal protective equipment, gowns. Thank you to everyone who's donated washable masks, washable gowns. It has helped us tremendously. Thank you to everyone who has sent flowers, who's donated food, all that. So we've been able to kind of spread it out, give people that work on that unit, who are assigned to that unit only, that new admission unit, we've been able to keep the morale up as best we can there for the healthcare workers. And so just want to say a big thank you to everyone who's helped us continue to move through this process. As soon as we know anything about allowing visitors in, there'll be memos put out by me. Every family member will get a notification from me, whether it's a phone call or a letter, and we'll get things out on the radio and things like that. So just want to say I greatly appreciate all the support we've had so far. Hopefully we continue to move forward with this. Please do your part. Wear a mask when you're out. Wash your hands. It helps protect not only you, but the people around you. So thank you.
Good morning, and thank you for having me and Justin and myself here. I am Scott McCord, the McMinnville Parks and Recreation Director. We're in an unusual time in history, and I hope we are coming out of it soon. We have been following the updates from the governor's Reopening Tennessee pledge. As these updates are provided, it is our goal to already be in the process so that we can act as soon and fast as we can to accommodate our patrons, our citizens, and employees in opening our doors for business in a safe and proficient manner. As Mayor Newman stated, our outdoor parks are open, and we ask everybody to be responsible. We've now reopened our wellness center at the mall with limitations and restrictions. We are constantly cleaning our machines and apparatuses and rooms. We've taken machines out and spaced things out. We closed for cleaning between 1 and 2 for thorough cleaning of all exercise equipment in classrooms. We are limiting our wellness center and class participants to 15. The wellness center is booked on an hourly time slots. We ask for your sake to call ahead to schedule spots for using the wellness center and classes. This way we can alleviate having to turn people away. With that said, if spots are open, we are not turning anyone away. Those that are coming, we take their temperatures. All staff is wearing face masks. All our adult exercise classes have resumed as normal. You can find our schedule on the city's website, mcminnvilletn.gov, and by clicking the Parks and Recreation tab to find schedules. You can find updates on our department's Facebook page. We've also opened our ball fields, tennis courts, skate park for all gatherings 10 and under. We have opened our restrooms on the Greenway and the walking trail at the Civic Center. We are in the process of finalizing refunds for our soccer, softball, baseball leagues, and hopefully those will be going out soon. We're hoping to start registration for our fall league, hopefully in the summer, starting in July soon, for the youth sports. Again, let me reiterate that we are doing everything to be ready to open as soon as possible when we are called upon, with the safety of all being our top priority. I will now turn it over to Justin Scott, our Assistant Director, to give updates on the Gilly Pool. Thank you, and stay safe.
Good morning. Thank you, Scott. Just to be brief about the Gilly Pool, I have been following the guidelines from the CDC. which have been put out, as well as meeting and speaking with other aquatic professionals across Middle Tennessee. So I have been in contact with them as far as what they're doing, both with their indoor pools and outdoor pools. Really all I want to hit on is while the decisions about implementing the guidelines will be made locally, I have been meeting again with our health officials here, our local health department, speaking with them. And we are currently working on the ghillie pool. We want to have it prepared and ready if we are able to open. We've been hiring lifeguards, we've been training lifeguards, pretty much have our staff in place, but we will not be opening Memorial Day weekend, which is our normal opening day. So one of the biggest concerns that I have with opening our venue is the social distancing. As most people know, when you come to the ghillie pool, it is 800 person capacity. We have met capacity numerous times. So, and another concern of that is that we have several counties that commute to Warren County just to use our pool. So we would be bringing other folks from other communities to our pool. So again, there's precautions we would need to take as far as disinfecting, hygiene, cleaning, those things, as well as protecting our staff. So we will continue to work with our city officials, and as Mayor Newman stated, we are looking at it from week to week. So thank you.
Good morning, Warren County. I'm Dale Humphrey, the CEO of St. Thomas River Park Hospital. Got some new updates on where we are from a medical perspective and for the community. From a community perspective, the volume of positive tests continues trending downward, thankfully, and the current number of deaths in Tennessee stands at 298. The latest model suggests that the total number of deaths in our state will peak at 489 by August 4th. That's down from 563 deaths previously projected, but again, that number is based on how we respond and our current trajectory, and any additional outbreaks or surges could certainly change that to a higher mortality rate. Testing numbers in Tennessee continue to grow. We currently stand at over 337,000 tests being performed, and there have been 18,000 positives so far, as mentioned earlier. 1,489 patients have been hospitalized, but 9,888 have recovered. In Warren County, we're blessed that of the 16 patients testing positive, 10 of those have already recovered. We have had no deaths. 1,446 citizens have been tested just in Warren County, and our local health department continues to offer free drive-through testing from 9 to 3, Monday through Friday. Now we are strongly encouraging those of you who have delayed getting care to seek the appropriate treatment that you need. Delaying things such as physical therapy, cardiac therapy, elective surgery, and other treatments can be very detrimental to your health. Some studies are showing that there's an increase in non-COVID-19 related deaths due to people delaying the treatment that they need in order to continue on a healthy trajectory. This week at River Park, we're doing 64 surgeries, and so far this month we've got 219 surgeries scheduled. So we're still doing elective procedures that need to be scheduled 5 days prior to the date of the procedure so that we can test you for COVID-19. And we currently do not have any COVID-19 positive patients in our facility. I want to reassure you that we will continue to provide safeguards such as screening of all associates and visitors, cleaning and disinfecting all areas of the hospital, limiting visitors, and practicing waiting room distancing. We are closely looking at relaxing our visitation restrictions, and we hope to do that in the very near future. This week we're celebrating EMS Week, and so I want to thank Warren County EMS as we celebrate this week and the work that they do on the front lines of our community. Preston Denny and his team are an asset for our community and the hospital, and we appreciate all they do for us and our patients. One positive thing that we have continued to see throughout this pandemic is the close relationship and the working relationships that we've developed between the media, our government officials, our local healthcare providers, We're all working on this together, so that is something positive that we need to remember and carry forward into the future. May God bless you and keep you all safe. Thank you. Next up is Bobby Cox and Grant Swallows from the Warren County School System.
Good morning. I'd like to update you just a little bit on coming events with Warren County Schools that might be of public interest, and then introduce our new Director of Schools, Mr. Grant Swallows, who will start this week. Our Warren County High School prom will be held June the 5th at Warren County High School. There will be limited access to the campus. At that time, prom attendees, SROs, and school staff are the only individuals that will be allowed on campus at that time, so there will be no congregating on the school campus prior or after the event. Students will be admitted by designated times through a sign-up survey that will be coming out after June 1st. No more than 100 students will be admitted at any one time, and they will be spread apart to encourage social distancing, and no more than groups of 10 for an hour time limit only. Students will be encouraged to wear a mask, if they would like to do that, to limit the spread, obviously, but coordinate those masks that might be with their prom attire. That is also encouraged. We will also have chairs set up for students to sit in, again, groups of 10 or less. No student groups will be allowed to congregate in more than that again. Students must provide a signed permission slip that will also be online from their parents to be admitted, and must be screened for temperature prior to entering the event. Any student that has a fever of 100.4 or higher will not be admitted. Students must leave the campus when their allotted slotted time is over, and will not be allowed to re-enter. If weather is an issue, this event will be outside. If weather is an issue during that time, then the event will be canceled. So for our graduation ceremony, that is scheduled to take place at Nunley Stadium as normal on June 12th at 7 p.m. Students will be seated on the football field 6 feet apart, side to side and front to back. There will not be a processional for students to line on the track and go to their seats. Each student will be allowed 4 guests only for the ceremony. We have had some questions about the number of guests admitted for that ceremony, and we will only be limiting 4 guests. If guidelines dictate and we can relax those guidelines closer to the 12th, then Mr. Swallows and his staff will make that determination. All guests will be guided to the first available seat that is socially distanced by a family group. There will be no reserved seating, so the gates will not be open, and no one will be allowed inside the stadium until they are screened. Those participants and those guests will be screened again for temperature. Anyone having a temperature or a fever of 100.4 or higher will not be admitted. The public will have access to the event. We will be broadcasting that live on WCS BLTV, channel 180. We'll also have it on our YouTube channel, and with our partnership with PEG Broadcasting, we'll also be doing a audio as well during that time. So students and guests, again, must leave the facility and school grounds immediately following the event. There will be no one admitted on the track or on the field after the event. If weather is an issue, then we will have a ceremony Saturday, June 13th at 7 p.m. At the stadium with the same guidelines. If that has to be canceled due to weather, then there will be a Sunday ceremony June 14th beginning at 1 p.m. at Warren County High School gym, and those guidelines will be communicated prior to that. So we appreciate all the patience that our parents and our students have given us this year. Obviously, this is something that none of us has experienced before. During this week, we are returning items that belong to the school system and picking up personal items from the schools. So that seems to be going very smoothly so far. You can get any information regarding prom, graduation, upcoming events on our website, and that will be at warrenschools.com. And at this time, I would like to introduce our new Director of Schools, Mr. Grant Swallows. Again, he's already been on the job. He's going to do a great job for our school system, and allow him to make any comments that he might have.
Thank you, Bobby. Just want to say personally thank you to him and to his service to Warren County. Outstanding educator, and he has done a fantastic job leading the Warren County school system for the last 8 years. I've been fortunate over the last few days to spend time with him and just sit at his feet and learn as much as I can from him, and I'm thankful to him for all he's done. I am overwhelmed and excited to get started in Warren County. I am thankful to the Board of Education and its members that voted to select me as the Director of Schools. Our family is excited to relocate to Warren County and get this process started. Friday is my first official day, and thankfully I've had the last few days to sit and talk with several staff members, our supervisors, our principals, and to begin meeting all those folks, getting their input as we go. Just want to echo what Bobby said about prom and graduation. I appreciate his leadership and the leadership of those at the high school that have put that plan in place. I appreciate the board members voting that through. And I will say that we will continue to monitor the guidance from the governor as we go over the next few weeks. And I would call on all of the folks that have members that are graduating with the class of 2020, and just ask for patience as we go through graduation ceremonies and prom ceremonies, and to keep in the front of our minds that these ceremonies are about the students, and it's going to be frustrating for some that can't get in. We understand that, but we are attempting to give our graduates and students the best ceremony that we can in the times that we are in. So just as Bobby said, please be patient and follow all the things that are being asked to do, and it will be a great night for our graduates and for our students. So please do that. One of the things that I want to kind of address this morning is to say, everyone's asking me, well, what are we going to do in August? Well, if you know that, then you have a crystal ball that I'm not privy to yet. We are working diligently to get all the information that we can so that we can prepare a plan for what school looks like in August and what this next school year will be like. We've been fortunate to have information from national leaders, associations like NIET, who have put together resources. We were on a conference call with the Commissioner of Education yesterday. There is information coming from their office, a toolkit, so to speak, on what schools are going to face in August. And I will just tell you that it will be our first priority to determine what schools will look like for Warren County in August. That's what our first priority out of the gate is going to be, to determine that. That will be a team decision and effort. We will work diligently to make sure that we do that, because as a district we need to do that so that our schools can do what works best for them, and then we can communicate those plans to the public. So that is priority number one as I take over as the Director of Schools on Friday. I also want to update you on the summer feeding program. We feel like that's extremely important. It's a great service that we're able to provide to kids in our county. That will, of course, is continuing this week, but after Memorial Day, it will begin back on Tuesday, May 26th, and Thursday, May 28th. It will be abbreviated because of the holiday week, Memorial Day week, and then starting June 1st, we'll go back to the normal Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and that will run all the way through July 31st. It will mirror what's been happening over the last several weeks. It will take place from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. And it will be at 5 different locations: Bobby Ray, Morrison, and Dibbrell Elementary, Warren County Middle School, and Warren County High School as well. Those will be the 5 pickup locations. Meals will be distributed much like they have been via drive-through method at each site. Passengers will be asked to stay in their vehicles during meal distribution. This is, of course, open to all kids 18 and under, regardless of county or enrollment status in schools. And the child does not have to be present to pick up the meal, but we want to be able to serve food during this time. There will be 2 breakfast meals and 2 lunch meals that will be provided during those days. So an important service that we're able to provide. We want students and kids to be able to eat continuing throughout the summer. I just want to say how excited I am, how grateful I am. I've been embraced over the last couple of weeks by a number of people. I'm excited to get out and meet as many people as I can and look forward to working for the kids of Warren County. Thank you.
Good morning, and thank you for letting me come and talk to you a little bit about the UTTSU Extension Office. I'm Hilda Lytle with the Warren County Extension Office, and I want to first of all say thank you to the community for doing your part for helping us as we get through this pandemic and the issues that surround it. I want to remind you that Extension is at work for you. We've basically never closed. We've just learned to do things a little differently in a remote type situation. All of our agents and staff are available remotely. You can call our office and get that information to get hold of them. We are working through a phased-in approach in conjunction with the University of Tennessee and with Warren County. And so right now we have just moved into our phase 1 approach, which means our building or our office is still closed, but we will be doing appointments or consultations on Tuesdays and Thursday mornings from 8 until 12 noon, just as Mr. Haley has said, for the admin building is going through. A staff member will be there each day now to answer the phones, to deliver messages if there's things that you might need, like soil sample boxes or pesticide certification applications and those kinds of things. You may call our office and we'll make arrangements to get those picked up outside the door, or a consultation with one of the agents if that is what is needed. We have many programs that have been converted to the online process. You may have noticed some pesticide videos by our agricultural agent, Mr. Heath Noakes. We have some food challenges going on with 4-H. There's some summer dairy and beef challenges, so please be sure to check those out. We've been featuring our 4-Hers and Honor Club members in videos because 4-H is still going on, competition is still going on, and in fact I believe there were 8 senior high portfolios just submitted for our state competition that will be held later this summer. I've started offering co-parenting classes online, and those will be about once a month, so if that's something that you're needing, online options are now available. So again, we've never closed. We're here for you. We want you to reach out to us if you need us. You can call our office at 473-8484. Check out our Facebook page. Many new posts have been put up there at UTTSU Extension, Warren County, or check out our website at www.warren.tennessee, and that's Tennessee spelled out, .edu. So again, thank you for letting me tell you a little bit about Extension. Know that our office is available to you by appointment only, so give us a call. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Executive Haley. Good morning, everyone. My name is Lana Whitlock, and I am the Executive Director of the McMinnville Warren County Senior Center. At the center, we serve members of our community that are 60 years and older. We offer a large array of services to our members. During the COVID-19, our center has been closed to the public due to our vulnerable population that visits our center, but we have continued our services. One of the most important services that we have continued is our hot meal program. Every Wednesday, we offer a hot meal program that is a pickup service in front of our building. It begins at noon each Wednesday. We do have a limited list of home deliveries for our homebound members that we have continued to serve. Our county has been very fortunate to be able to offer meals, not just through our center, but Meals on Wheels, Helping Hands, Wild Bill's Barbecue, and many of our churches. This is very important service that we are offering to the senior members of our community. At our center, we offer different resources. If anyone has any questions, feel free to call us. We have a new and upcoming resource that is going to be very important to each person in our county. We're going to be offering a drive-up census. This is a service that will be available to anyone that needs assistance in getting their census filled out. People will be able to drive up, and a volunteer will help them fill out their census on the computer. This is a very easy process. These questions are very basic about the household, and this is very important to our county, as that is how we receive our funding, is due to the census that's filled out. Each person needs to be counted. Our first drive-up session is going to be held June the 3rd in the front of our senior center from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. On to opening up the senior center. I've had numerous calls about wanting to know when our center is going to be open. We have to abide by the guidelines that's set by our governor, the Tennessee Commission of Aging and Disability, our county executive, Mr. Haley, and our board of directors. We would love to be open and take care of our senior members, but please understand that we will open as soon as possible. If you were to have a question or a need for any senior that is in our community, please feel free to call me. Our number at our office is 473-6559. If we are not there, please leave a message, as I check the messages numerous times a day. Also, you can place your meal order for our Wednesday meal pickup on that line also. Our center is located at 809 Morrison Street, just across from Boyd Christian School. We will keep everyone informed about updates through our Facebook page, which is the McMinnville Warren County Senior Center page, and our local radio station, and all the events that's going on at our senior center. Thank you.
I want to thank everyone for giving updates today, and BLTV for allowing this opportunity to share information to our public. That's key to our survival as a community. Just want to give you a few updates as well and follow-ups. Conference calls continue each day with information that helps basically shape and prepare us for this next step in the reopening process. The changes are daily. The updates are oftentimes confusing, but we have to plow through those and make them happen for our community. I want to thank the governor's task force teams for all the hard work and due diligence during this crisis. It's not been easy on any of us. Continued support by the public has made the difference for all of us in leadership positions. However, your due diligence falls upon the shoulders of each and every resident of Warren County. Let us remember another quote from Abraham Lincoln. You cannot help men permanently by doing for them what they could and should do for themselves. I want to give a shout out to all of our essential workers, those on the front line of defense, our healthcare facilitators, law enforcement, emergency rescue teams, our utility crews, and especially our EMS workers. It is EMS week, and Preston Denny and his staff, his crew, have gone the exceptional mile in facilitating and assisting the healthcare providers across our community. It's helped contain the virus and keep our numbers to 16. I want to compliment the media outlets who have had exceptional duty in distributing information to the public, particularly PEG Broadcasting, WCPI, BLTV, been stars to the crisis, as well as the Southern Standard. I want to also give a little compliment to those involved in the many feeding programs across the community. That exceptional service for those in need has been noticed by many. Providing nourishing meals to our homeschooled children and student populations has been one of our priorities as a community. Faye Taylor and her food service team during transportation, and all those volunteers who've helped go the extra mile in stabilizing the lives of our most precious resource, which is our children. At this time, I'd like to pull Bobby Cox up here, and I'd like to recognize retiring Director of Schools Bobby Cox, who is a member of my extraordinary preparedness team, do what he always does. He's answered the call to service and enacted plans across our school system to meet the challenges of this pandemic. So last night in our county commission meeting, I read a proclamation, and I'd like to read it again today. So whereas John Robert Bobby Cox, the son of the late John and Catherine Cox, is a McMinnville, Tennessee native who has shown exceptional leadership as director of Warren County Schools. Whereas during Mr. Cox's tenure of 29 years in the Warren County school system, he has served in many roles, including classroom teacher, coach, supervisor, and director of schools. Whereas over the course of his career, Mr. Cox has been recognized by many state and national organizations and received many honors, including the 7 AAA Baseball Coach of the Year, Outstanding Service Award from the TASCD Board of Directors, the Upper Cumberland Regional Supervisor of the Year, Tennessee Department of Education Supervisor of the Year, Tennessee Athletic Association A.F. Bridges Sportsmanship Award for School Administrator of the Year, and the TOSS Superintendent of the Year. And whereas since 2012 as Director of Schools, Bobby Cox has served his hometown well by upgrading school facilities, promoting primary and secondary programs, and fostering a level of achievement for both our school system and its board through its membership in multiple state and national organizations and through his professional involvement in educational initiatives across the state and region. Whereas over the last 8 years, Director Cox has emphasized both academics and technical education programs throughout the county, reaching achievement records and delivering standards of excellence in literacy, graduation and attendance rates, CTE programs, including mechatronics and robotics training, dual enrollment, and AP offerings at Warren County High School. Whereas Mr. Cox's family, his wife Letitia and daughters Lindsay and Savannah, have played an integral role in his success by supporting his tireless efforts to raise educational standards and invest in the future of Warren County. And whereas this outstanding community leader and respected educator has impacted the lives of many and successfully fulfilled his Rotary pledge of service above self. Whereas it is only befitting that a grateful community should recognize this man's career achievements and acknowledge how he's crafted the course of education for generations to come. Therefore, I, Warren County Executive, wish to honor Mr. Bobby Cox on his years of service to our educational system and wish him well in his retirement and all future endeavors. Mr. Cox, would you like to say one little something here?
Well, I appreciate that. I'm humbled by your words and by the recognition. Again, it's not something that I intended to, do in my career. I'm happy that I can, serve the students of Warren County. That's what I've always wanted to do is, be around children and serve students. And that's my passion and that's my love and that'll always be my love. But I do appreciate that. I appreciate your words, your service to our community, the county commission for working with us, all of you that are in this room for being community partners. And it's just been a privilege for me to be able to serve. And I want to continue to serve our community, not only today, but in the days to come as well. So thank you again for that.
So Mr. Cox has certainly left his mark on our school system. He has changed the course of education with his influence, and it will be felt for many years to come. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for supporting our teachers, our staff, and implementing strategies that have improved every level of our school system's operations from beginning to end. Investing in children is investing in our future. Your parents will be so proud of your achievements, especially Principal and Taskmaster John Cox, who passed the torch of high expectations to his son Bobby. And that legacy has certainly been appreciated and noted now and will for years to come. As county executive, I now welcome Grant Swallows to our team. I'm confident he's going to be the champion for the cause of excellence across the county and take us even to greater and more extraordinary heights. And all in all, proven leadership does matter. So thank you, Warren County, for your support. We will continue this reopening as we tackle the pandemic at hand. Thank you.